Hi, welcome to Other Live Studio Metalwork Virtual Workshop. Today, we're going to be playing with metal. We are transforming a basic tee into a fun metal fringed statement piece. We were super inspired by runway shows from Christopher Kane, Area, among a lot of others. If you want to see more of what inspired us, please head to our blog. We're going to teach you a super easy hand sewing technique to attach the metal fringe and also how to make it. We hope you love it. Let's get started. For the fringe making part of this tutorial, you'll need chain with links big enough for a needle to go through, flat nose pliers, round nose pliers, and wire cutters. You'll also need a measuring tape or ruler. We're going to take both pliers and open the jump ring, connecting the closure to remove it if you have any. Then you want to squeeze it shut with your flat nose pliers and make sure you closed it securely by giving it a tug. We don't want open links because that means they can fall out of the stitch. We want to make sure it's nice and tight. Measure the length of your fringe. I'm gonna go with 5.5 because that's the length I want. You can make it whatever size you'd like, longer, shorter, whatever the vibe is. A tip when you're doing this is to hold the jump ring firmly with the flat nose pliers and then use the round nose pliers to gently twist the jump ring open. You can close it by twisting it back and squeeze it shut with the flat nose pliers when the ring edges are aligned. Sometimes chain is soldered shut. If that's the case, you can just use your wire cutters to open the loop so then you can work with it. And we don't want to waste any shorter remnants of chain because obviously we're working with what we have. So we're going to use that to attach to other pieces and puzzle it together. We don't like to be wasteful, it's 2020. Keep going with this process until you have what you need. And you want to be sustainable, which we strongly encourage. You can head to our shop. I'll put the link below. For the fringe sewing half of this tutorial, you're going to need pins, measuring tape, needle and thread, and I like to make sure that the needle goes through my chain, fabric scissors, and a t-shirt. I'm using an old tee that my boyfriend was going to donate, and I'm just going to fit it on my body to make sure I like the length and the shape and placement of the shapes I'm cutting out at the side. You want to make sure to measure your pins and move them to make sure each side is balanced and symmetrical. I had to move mine a few times, and I also decided I wanted to revise the shape a little after seeing it flat. So as you can see, I just kept redoing it. Just had an obsessive little moment there. You can also go for a more asymmetrical look if that's the vibe you want. We love a good asymmetrical top, so feel free to play with the design you want. Now we're going to cut the hem off using our pins to guide us. Our pins are, again, our guides, so we're going to follow them and cut the side shapes out. You can also make these more angular if you want. It's time to say bye to the sleeves. I decided to go with a wider tank, so I'm just pinning and measuring so the shoulders match, and I'm gonna go below the armhole a bit because we're in a heat wave and I want to be breezy. We're finishing the hem and armholes by folding in 1/2 inch and sewing 1/4 inch to 3/8 inches from the folded edge. If you don't have a machine, you can watch our hand sewing tutorial in our channel. I'm using a basic single needle stitch here since my hem isn't bodycon, but if you're on a machine and are sewing a tighter fitting top, you want to use a zigzag or cover stitch so the hem can stretch with the fabric. Once that's done, we're going to use a needle and thread to sew the fringe. I'm using a thicker thread, but you can double yours up or just sew through each fringe an extra time. We're going to start at the edge of where you want your fringe detail to begin with the garment inside out. Make sure the end of your thread is knotted. Then go through the fabric and then through the jump ring at the end of the chain and loop the needle back into the fabric, then out through the ring again. Make sure to go through the hem along the folded edge. You want to measure the space between each piece of fringe. I'm doing 1/4 inch apart. You can do less if you want the look of your fringe to be tighter and you have enough. I had 10 inches of fringe, which I measured to be 1/4 inch apart for each side. You just have to measure the spacing and the length of where you're applying it to make sure that you're covered. We're gonna repeat this process about 2 million times, or until you're covered in chain fringe, or until you reach the end of the curve in my case. And there you have it, our chain fringe tank from what was once an old, almost donated men's tee. If you like this tutorial, feel free to watch our Keyhole Tee workshop in our channel and subscribe for more DIY adventures. Thanks for watching!